Muniza, the first element that comes to mind when one thinks back to the time when your very gifted children, Zoeb and Nazia, began to sing as public couple, as a unique brother and sister team, is the political and social context of Pakistan. Martial law had been imposed in July 77, and under General Zia-ul-Haq, a very distinct anti-cultural, anti-artistic ambiance had begun to take shape. So when I look at the relationship of their music with the conditions that prevailed in Pakistan, I see this as a very distinct form of peaceful, benevolent, non-violent protest, but done in a very artistic and creative way.
I mean, now that you've said all these things, I totally agree with that. But the truth is that they were doing something which came naturally to them. We weren't living in Pakistan at that time. We, for a very, very long time, we lived between two countries, two cultures. We were here in London, they went to school here, and they went to school in Pakistan. I think here you have all the opportunities, and whatever you believe in, you do that. In Pakistan, when they went, it was always the best part of everything they saw. People, how they loved them, our friends, people who were not known to them. So I think it became something very special, now more so. But what you have just said, I can understand that, because we, as the grown-ups or the adults, we knew that our country had gone through a very big cultural change. And anything to do with fine arts was not considered fine. Yes.
You see, they were. I'm saying it only because they, I think, instinctively felt what society was going through, and they may not have consciously sat down and decided to use the music as a form of protest, but in net real terms, that's how one sees it in historical
Well, I think artists, this is how they behave.
Exactly.
Always.
They express something which people may not be able to.
I mean, for instance, you didn't see any movements with music, at least in our days. I mean, I'm sure you remember, and I remember that if somebody was singing, most of the time they were carrying a paper in front of them, and they were just singing. And with these two, it was so natural that you never ever saw that they had to see the notes or anything. So I suppose, yes, whatever your circumstances are and whatever things you are going through, it is an expression, yes, whatever you do, whether it's music or painting or writing.
Quite right. There is another dimension to Muniza in terms of context, that while Pakistan and India share traditions of music and interests in art and culture, due to the ban on the exchange of cinema Everything had to be done covertly. Now, one finds that Nazia's voice and music and Zoeb's being part of it became so appealing to millions of people in India at a time when there were still uneasy relationships between both countries. So they made a contribution to building friendship, goodwill between two countries with very difficult relations.
I mean, I have to repeat that again, unknowingly. Yeah. But then there are other people, I think they can be given that credit fully. Zeenat Aman is obviously one of them. I mean, she was at that time a very big name. And she was the one who suggested that, that, you know, let Nazia sing for me because we're looking for a new voice. I remember that I rang up my husband and I said that to him. And he said, "Are you out of your mind?" Why? And he said, I mean, we send our children to mostly, they went to grammar school. Nazia and Zebu they'd started it there and they were very happy about that. But then I shifted them to American school because it was easy to travel. American school there, American school here. So he said, you put them in the American school and now you are going to make us sing in an Indian film. So imagine what can happen. I said, nothing. I mean, 500 movies a year, one little song of one film, who's going to know about it? But there it is.
And there it became one of an outstanding, very special one amongst 500.
Well,
it had the opposite kind of...
But you know, I think, though I say unknowingly, but then I heard Nazia talking about this beyond boundaries, and this is what has happened. Then she also talked about that music has to be a message. And I think, yes, this is what we see now.
And I think that phrase sums it up in the sense beyond boundaries, in the sense that boundaries are important because they are lines of identity. Each country has its own distinct identity, and yet you can go beyond it, you can reach out to each other and become friends or conduct dialogue, respect each other's culture and music and literature.
But so much good comes out of it.
Yes, absolutely.
Because see, it's music or any other fine art. That in any case is the most beautiful side of all of us, our human beings, yes. And once you have that, then you can use that approach for so many other things.
Quite right.
Charitable work.
Yes.
I mean, both the countries, whether it's Pakistan or India, we need to reach out to people. And I think a lot of artists are doing that now.
And all states, you know, have a very impersonal dimension. Nazia and Zoeb's music and voices helped personalize and humanize the relationship.
That's, yes.
Muniza, in November, December 1988, after the death of General Ziaul Haq, Pakistan entered a completely new phase of democracy and elections. Benazir Bhutto became the world's first woman Muslim prime minister. And then, because I had the humble privilege of serving in that first cabinet.
I remember that. You were, yes, Minister of
and,
Information, yes.
And television and radio.
I was quite proud to tell people, he's our friend, yes, yeah.
But you recall that one of the first things we did early in '89, as a result of your children's willingness to participate and your interest and the collaboration with Aslam Azhar, we were able to stage this program called Music 89.
Yes.
A new kind of music for Pakistan at that time on state television. You remember those days?
Of course, how can I forget it? Yes, yes.
Yeah,
but then look at that. I mean, today you see it all over Pakistan.
Yes,
Pakistanis go everywhere. And it's always something nice.
Yeah.
I mean, though my poor children, because they were very young, and they were quite shocked, and they said, what did we do?
There was such a strong reaction, especially from the orthodox characters.
Well, I suppose they normally look for some opportunity. So it was, it helped them, yes. And
it was both amusing and revealing for me as a member of the cabinet in charge of that ministry to stand up in the Senate, of which I was a member, and defend doing, because some of my dear colleagues
you yourself, but you've always been.
They called it un-Islamic.
I can say it. Let me say it, because how talented you are. I mean, look at this. So many things. I mean. You will write, you made a film. What haven't you done?
No, this is the, we are focusing on this. The very special vibrancy and sense of hope that the two children brought to Pakistan at a time when another young Prime Minister, heralding a new era in Pakistan's history. And Nazia and Zoeb were part of that advent and message
that's quite true.
Of change and hope, mashallah. And that has then developed over the years, and now we have a very vibrant scene. They were the pioneers.
I mean, it's the same girl who was at that time school and going through these experiences. Then she was at the UN, and she was and disputed territories. That's what she was dealing with. That
this dimension is so unusual. Of course, in more recent years, one knows that some people have become ambassadors of various UN organizations.
Well, I still have the letter where she was just going to be.
But she had already joined the UN office.
UN she had joined, but they were offering her something very special.
But anyway, just being there and having worked for that time must have been, first of all, very fulfilling for her, and I think very useful for the colleagues in her office to know a woman of exceptional talent taking an interest in that subject. You must have made you so proud and privileged to be part of such a talented, gifted set of children.
At that time we were just working. I mean, whatever they were good at. I mean, both sister and brother, they were very keen as far as charity was concerned. And even in New York, when Nazi is working for UN, she did that with children. Yes, she did a lot of work.
From the UN, the mind goes to the fact, again I personally recall, that in the years 87, 88,
Yes.
there was a particularly severe drought that had developed in southeastern Pakistan in the area called Tharparkar. It's the great Thar desert.
Where you
on
were
our
doing
side,
all your good
Jabbar.
work, yes.
And on the Indian side, it is Rajasthan and Gujarat.
Yes, yes.
And it was very harsh conditions. And we felt that at this time, in addition to the food and the medicine and the water, medicines, we also need to think of what children must be missing living in those remote, far-flung areas, bone poor. They also needed some pleasure in life. So we launched this program called Gift a Toy program, and we requested Nazia to become a kind of messenger and a goodwill symbol for this campaign. And she worked very hard and with great sincerity to collect hundreds and thousands of toys. We visited schools together. And I remember the school children.
I remember everything, yes.
You do that.
And also, one thing which you wouldn't know, she was so excited when that telephone came.
Achha.
And she said, Mom, I always wanted this. I want to work with children.
Good.
And you know that you were her favorite uncle. She used to say that, yes.
Can never forget. She was a presence in our film Beyond the Last Mountain, Pakistan's first and only English language.
Yes.
She was a little child then.
Yes,
but we have even got those shots preserved. So her participation in that kind of work, Muniza, I think symbolized how genuinely she wanted to help make the world a better place.
Javed, not only this, I mean, you know how when we are driving and the car stops somewhere, you know the children run to your car and they are either begging or they're selling or something of that sort. That used to upset her very much. And she always said that to me, Mom, they have no parents. Because parents wouldn't do that. And she always wanted to do something, you know, on SOS.
Children's villages.
And that's what I want to do before I leave, yes.
She was very happy when we told her what joy those toys brought.
Of course,
tens of thousands of toys bring in, new kind of pleasure and delight into the eyes of these very, very poor children who'd never seen those toys.
That's
right.
So
Nazia felt very good, I think, and rightly so.
That's something which is always in my mind. And this is why I want to do more and more and more, so that, there are children who will benefit by this. Education, health, security. I mean, these children who have no one, or maybe just one parent who can do really nothing. That's my aim of life.
Excellent.
This is.
I really commend you for your commitment to the Nazia Hassan Foundation's vision, and you have all our goodwill and our prayers and support for you.
One thing I might mention quickly. Her son is now 16, and he is really involved in this. And that really makes me happy that when I go, there is someone to take care of it.
So the mission continues and the memories will endure.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.